Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a different video for you all. We're going to kind of do a plan with me type video. Even though I've already done a couple of builds on this island, I thought, you know what, we'll go through the stages of planning a new island and how I get ready for my next build. Hopefully you find that interesting. Now before we get started though, I'd love it if you could like, comment and subscribe. Come and join the Jellybean family. Now let's get started with today's video. So first things first, we're just going to walk around what I've already built. So you'll notice as we're walking around that I only have the abandoned shop and the entrance build. And this is because I thought, you know what, we're going to set up the Nooks Cranny build together. Now even though you've already seen the Nooks Cranny build, it would have already been posted on my channel. So hopefully you've watched that one and enjoyed that. But I just want to show you the process and what I like to do to set up ready for a build. But before we get to that stage, we want to go right back to the beginning of when I first restart my island and we choose a map. Now every time I finish an island, I always save the dream address and then I restart my save file so that I get the beginning of the game again. I have to go through all the beginning. This actually allows me to save all my dream addresses and revisit them whenever I feel like it, and means I can make some more. And always at the beginning of that, I get the fun job of deciding which map I want. Now you get a choice between 4 maps, and did you know there's actually over 90 different variations of Animal Crossing New Horizons island maps, which is just insane. Now I have found those on a website which I'll link down below, so be sure to check it out, and maybe you want to re-roll till you get a specific one, but for now, for me, I like this top left one. I like how far the resident services is away from the airport, and it's just perfect. I've never had an island like that before, so I definitely want to experiment with this one, and this will be my new island, Barnacle. Now after all the map choosing, you can then get to Freestyles of Isabel and unlock terraforming, which means you can start building. So once we have unlocked the terraforming tools, I then go around the island getting rid of a lot of the pre-existing waterscaping or land terraforming that I know I won't be needing. So looking at my map, you can see I still have some terraforming at the back of the island that I'll probably leave, as I might use that in a future build for, you know, any building at the back of the island, so it will definitely save me some time if I leave it. Another thing I tend to do before I start a new island is try and fit as many of the buildings and houses on the beach that I can. This saves time and space and makes moving everything around the island a lot quicker process, especially if I want to build certain areas and houses in the way. It's just an annoyance, so yeah, I try to put as many on the beach as I can. One of the most important things when starting a new island theme or just doing a theme is inspiration. You can get inspiration from other creators, you can get from real life places, or even other video games. But what was my inspiration for this island, and how do I normally find my inspiration? I feel like that's the most popular question I get asked, so I'm here to tell. Now most of the time a quick Google and you'll find lots of images of lovely real life places in the real world that will give you lots of inspiration towards your Animal Crossing island. Now this island in particular wasn't inspired by anywhere in particular, it was basically inspired by other video games that I've played on different consoles. Other islands that I've created, like Primrose, were inspired by my very own country. Sometimes I'm inspired by a code someone has created or an item I'm using. So yeah, the possibilities are truly endless and there's inspiration everywhere. I see it everywhere. Towards the back of the island, I have an area dedicated to storing and growing my flowers, bushes and trees. So over here we had the white azaleas and the white plumeria bushes. The azalea bushes will never be in bloom. I just chose them basically based on the leaves because I like the leaves. Next to that I have my flowers. So we have some green mums over here and we have some yellow lilies, yellow mums and orange windflowers. Now I do need to top this up a little bit. It's getting a little bit low on the green mums, but it's okay. I'll do that a little bit later on. And behind the flowers and bushes we have my trees. So for this island I have coconut trees, cedar trees and the normal hardwood trees. So yeah, we just keep this topped up every time that I use them, and this will just be full of the trees I'm using, whether it be bamboo, coconut or any of the other trees. I just stick them here and it's just easy for me to just eat a piece of fruit, dig them up and plant them where I want them because then they're already grown as well. But yeah, that was my little garden area at the back of the island. I like to decide on the bushes, flowers and trees pretty early on in the planning process on an island because I feel it's something I use very often in all my builds, so it's quite an important thing. Next up is storage. So I always like to make sure I have a high storage amount, so I always try to pay off my full loan of my house and then the next storage after that, so that's the 500,000 bells, which gives me enough space to store all these good items. Now I pick up all these items from treasure islands, otherwise I wouldn't be able to create the islands like this that I do. So yeah, thank you to those servers and those communities because you guys are amazing, thank you. Now as you can see, I like to get the items that I know I'm definitely going to use and I like to bulk them out so I have plenty to build with, plenty to work with. This is just how I've done my island islands all the time. Ever since I started making islands for YouTube, this is just how I've done it. I like to hoard basically, and hoarding is great, especially when you're trying to build a massive island. Another really important thing that we need to focus on is villagers. So some of you may want your dreamies on your island, some of you may just want villagers that you like the look of on your island, some of you don't even mind. And then there's some of us that want villagers that fit the theme that we are building. For pretty much most of my islands, I like to have villagers that are fitting the theme that I'm currently building. Take this one for example. This is my abandoned tropical island, and you guys have helped me choose some villagers. You gave me some great suggestions, and I'm finally going to reveal the 10 villagers moving onto this island. And to do that, we're going to take a quick trip to Harv's Island. So now I'm only able to do this because I have amiibo cards. So if you also collect amiibo cards, you can scan them in at Harv's Island, which basically allows you to have a good old proper look at the villager you might want to invite to your island before you actually invite them. So I love doing this. And here we are, we have Barnacle's 10 villagers that can be moving in. So we have Bud, Coco, Canberra, Eugene, Jitters, Ozzy, O'Hare, Paula, Opal, and Boomer. I think these are all super adorable villagers, and I can't wait to have them because most of them I haven't had before, although I am questioning my choice to keep Jitters. He just scares me, you know, and we've got bad history. So now that we're back home on Barnacle, we have one more thing to do before we are ready to start building the island. So we have our map chosen, we have our villagers chosen, we've chose trees, bushes, flowers, and now it is time for the most important thing that I feel like makes an island, and that is custom code designs. Without these amazing creators that create these amazing custom design codes, I don't know where half my islands would be, so thank you so much for sharing your wonderful designs with the whole community. Since we're talking about design codes, I just want to show off a few of the designs that I'm using on this island. So this is the abandoned road that I'm using, and I love everything about this. It's so detailed, I love the color of it, and this was made by Origo Alley. Now Origo Alley actually has a YouTube channel as well, so please do go and check it out, and they made this amazing design along with so many other designs as well. So yeah, it's super amazing. Go check out their channel. This is a sandy tile code made by Yud962. I plan to use this code for flooring around fake buildings and possibly on the beach too. I love the color of this one because, as the name says, it's sandy tiles, so it definitely gives me tropical vibes, and the broken edges are just a bonus for my particular theme. So yeah, definitely love this code. Next up, I have some more codes created by Origo Alley, and these are just so amazing. So we got a lovely newspaper code here, which I'm going to use on scattered papers. We have this black and yellow striped warning almost type of code, and I really love this. I can't wait to use it on areas that I want to make look like they're blocked off. We've got some broken windows. Of course, we can't go wrong with a broken window. And I really also love this rusted panel. I love the fact that it goes from grey to brown rust, and I think it's definitely perfect to use on my island. So yeah, I can't wait to use more of these around everywhere. Next up, we have these tiles that I've been using as my sidewalk tiles. And I really like these because we get the plain alteration. They've also got a little bit of cracking going on. And I love the leaves that are peeking through. And it also comes with these cute 2 variations of steps if you want to use steps as well. So yeah, I love these. These are great for my sidewalk next to the road, and they kind of match perfectly. I always like to have some sort of path shaped code on my islands, and this island I decided to go with a sand path. So this was made by ColinCrossing, and I love the green accents around the edging of the sand. I think it blends in nicely. He also made some little corner pieces so you can make like little bendy pathways, and yeah, I just really love this pathway. Actually, it's really nice and it's perfect for my theme. So next up, we have some more codes made by Origo Alley, and we have this lovely grassy looking code which also has some yellow flowers on, which I really liked. I also like the little flowers that match at the top. They are the white variation that I have chosen. I like the yellow flower accents because they add a slight tropical vibe to the island, and I want to go for the tropical vibe still but also make it look overgrown, so I thought this was definitely perfect for me to use. Here I have some windows that were made by Tortuga Chronicles, and they are so amazing. I love the smashed effect on the 2 windows either side. Also like the close sign. I thought that'd be perfect for some abandoned closed shops. So yeah, I'm using these for a lot of the buildings, and I love them. I've already used some of them already. I have some more windows and a wall next, and this is like a boarded up window. I really like how this looks. I also love the white wall, and it looks like it's kind of old and grubby looking. I feel like this would definitely be perfect for maybe a hotel and some nice tropical buildings. So yeah, I love this code as well. I have some metal shutters next, and I want to use these for over doorways and windows to make it look like the shutters have been pulled down, or maybe someone's propped up some corrugated metal in front of a doorway so that you can't get in. So yeah, I love these. I don't think I've actually used these yet in a build, but I will do soon. And this is some cardboard box codes. Now these were made by the lovely Crystal Cat, who I've mentioned a few times on this channel, and yeah, I'm basically going to use them as cardboard boxes as they were intended, and I love them. I love the detailing and they're perfect. I've actually already used these in a build. I use them on my fake building build. I use them in the distance so that they look like tower block apartment type buildings. Now these were made by Acnh New Idol, and I love that these are all concrete looking. They look like they've been worn out, and I think they're definitely perfect for my island. So yeah, can't wait to use them in some more spots. And there we have it. There were some of the codes that I'm using on this island. I will probably download some more as we go along with the builds, but I will be sure to pop those in the description. So yeah, keep an eye out and I'll let you guys know anyway, but all the MAs are always in the description along with the creators' socials. Now we're at the last part of the video though, and this is where I want to set up my next build. So before I start doing a build and start recording, sometimes I like to do a little bit of terraforming. So we're just going to do some terraforming around this area, and as you can see, the entrance is just right there on the right. And then once we finish the terraforming, I'm just going to go along with the in-game dirt path and mark out where I'm going to be placing the Nook's Cranny. Now I like to do this with most of the buildings. Sometimes I pre-place them, or sometimes I like to place them during the actual build itself, and it depends what sort of thing I'm doing around the edges and if I'm decorating behind and all that sort of stuff. But I just find it so much easier to place dirt path down first and then place the building on top. Also, by doing this, it kind of shows you how much room you have to work with as well, so that definitely helps with terraforming and placing items down and just decorating in general. So I definitely recommend doing this with your buildings before you actually move them into place. If you're unsure of how many squares a building is, definitely Google it. You'll find the answers on there. I definitely found the answers for how big Nook's Cranny was on Google. It literally came up as the first thing, and it was 4 by 7, so we got 4 back, 7 wide. Perfect, fits in nicely. So we're just going to shape the terraforming around a little bit more. Now if you've seen my video, you know I've already changed this ever so slightly, but it's important to get the main bulk of terraforming done before I actually start my build, because otherwise this can take up a whole lot of time, and yeah, it definitely is not very interesting sometimes to watch. So I try to get as much done as possible. Obviously I know sometimes you guys like to see some of the terraforming, especially if it's like for a building or, you know, some waterscaping or something like that. So yeah, I definitely show some of it sometimes, but when it's just big square areas, I tend to just cut that out and do that off camera. Now something else I always do right before I want to start building is I'll go and pick up some trees. So I tend to grab 2 or 3 of each tree, or 1, whatever I know I'm probably gonna need, and I'll grab some flowers and have some bushes as well to make sure that they're all in my bag. After that, sometimes I'll choose a few items that I want to use, but that's very, very rare. I always make sure my bag is full of flowers and bushes though. But yeah, there we go. Now we've got our bag full of bushes and trees and flowers, and we've set up the build ready. We are ready to go. We are ready to start building for Nook's Cranny, and also ready to build this island. Now I hope some of you found this video useful and you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Come join the Jellybean family. Have a lovely day as well, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.